Field Day. Councillor Scott.
The winner of the Balance Farm Environmental Award. The field day was held on them, and that was on a pip fruit and blueberry and just being developed pomegranate orchard in Railway Road. Well attended, and it was interesting how they talked about building resilience through diversity, and the importance of actually diversity not only of their apple crop to reach different markets, but of the actual crops that they doing because of the dips and gains in the commodity market. You really needed more than one product to meet that. So it was well attended. I'd like to thank Councillor Pipe, who was there for the whole session, and Councillor Bevan was there for the start of it as well. So good day.
Thank you. Genesis Power.
Just as you're conscious of dams further north here, I've found some correspondence that suggests that the dams that Genesis operates in connection with Waikaremoana, that the conditions on them don't exist as part of the consent, that they're side agreements. And I have one here that was sent to me between Federated Farmers and Genesis Power directly. And these date back into the earlier 2000s. And so my question was, are there consents? There must be consents for these dams, and do they include environmental conditions? This one particularly relates to flows, maintaining flows. And it seems odd that the only requirement for that would be a side letter between Federated Farmers and...
So can I suggest, rather than debating this here, that
Sure.
if you've got a copy of that, or we take a copy of that.
I'll send you a copy.
Yep.
And you come
I'll
back to all
respond
of us.
Okay.
Okay. Biodiversity launch. Rud. I spelled his name wrong. And the card I gave him. Kleinpast was the presenter. It was a fascinating presentation. He just has a way about him, engaging young and old. He's been a big champion of the Cape to City stuff, and is very keen to get behind anything we do here in the Bay. Loves the place. He's was part of quite a good cross section of the community that were there, from the farming community right through to some of the environmental groups, and councillors was there. I have to acknowledge Councillor Graham here, because in my final sum up speech I acknowledged councillors, but he had gone and I didn't mention him. So in case that was the feedback you had, I'll remedy that now, Councillor Graham. It was actually, there was a sort of, I felt there was quite a bit of camaraderie in the room, and common purpose, a lot of acknowledgement that there is still a long way to go. But interesting talking to Nick Smith last night. I mean, Cape to City they talk about that around the cabinet table all the time. It's held up as an example of success for biodiversity, a mixture of private, public funding, technology enhancement, etc., held in high regard throughout the country. So the biodiversity launch went off quite well, I thought. I congratulate the staff and the team that put that together, and we put up a pretty good show as sort of the, if you like, part of the hosting team. But you've got to. It was very clear that it wasn't a regional council strategy; it was a regional strategy. I thought that came through quite well. So that's all I had to add on the biodiversity launch meeting. Dr. Smith, Councillor Dick, you.
20 seconds.
Oh, the meeting last night. Oh, it was one of 15 road shows throughout the country on the government's aspirations around fresh water going forward. Grab the document there on your way out, a bit of light reading. A typical, well, I don't know if it's typical, but a very polished performance from the Minister, who had a point of view he was happy to get across. There was topics such as water bottling, costs or revenues, incomes, tax, whatever you want to call it, right through to tangata whenua, Mahinga Kai as an aspiration for freshwater, certainly swimmability. He was happy to discuss all those subjects. Obviously, we were not the first meeting, and I think we're close to the last meeting, so he's had the conversation with quite a few. I thought the crowd was extremely well behaved and quite engaged and interested in what he had to say, so pretty much all. Oh, and he did mention that most times when he meets the regional council, asked for money and then publicly rebuked that we would get any. So he was quite clear on that. But no, he was in good form, the Minister. Tamata Park, Councillor Graham.
Yes, we have promised Tamata Park that we'll keep our $500,000 in place and that we'll give them to the 30th of June to come back to us. There is some concern in their camp that it's our intention to take some of that money from them for another project. I just want to let everyone know I reassured them that that has never been discussed and was not the case.
Thank you. Okay, here's the list. Tick, tick, tick. Declare the meeting closed. Thank you for your effort and the collegial day we went about our business today, so thank you very much. We'll see you next time.